Hello everyone and welcome to the Comic Review. My name is Eric, and on this episode we are going to take a look at round 2 between the Super Friends and the fake imposter super flare powered Superman in part 7 of the final days of Superman in Superman Wonder Woman number 29. Alright, this issue was jam-packed with action this time. Most of this issue is a big giant fight between essentially Superman and Wonder Woman versus the fake imposter Superman that has been going through and basically terrorizing everyone since Superman number 51, the first part of this entire storyline. This is all leading up to Rebirth, which should be coming out May 25th here soon, but we'll get into more of that toward the end of this video. But right now let's just dive into the action already in progress. So this issue starts off exactly where the last issue left off, where the New 52, Clark, Diana, and Bruce Wayne are confronting the imposter Superman that's been basically terrorizing Metropolis and other parts of the world for the last month and a half of storylines. So right as they're getting ready to go into the fight, he does reveal that New 52 Lois is with him at Clark White's house. And so he immediately starts his attack on Lois, actually. New 52 Clark goes in and shields her from the blast and basically tells her, you need to get out of here because you still have to write the story about my life and death and everything, which will probably be a big thing for the next issue in Superman number 52. But he basically has Batman take Lois and get her out of there while he and Wonder Woman engage fake Superman. So Clark and Diana engage the fake Superman. He is still trying to convince everyone that he is the real Superman, even though very clearly is not. He's the bloodthirsty Superman. Basically, this is what Clark would be like if he grew up evil. No other way to say that. I reiterate that any more than to say that. The scene then cuts over to pre-Flashpoint Clark, Lois, and their son Jonathan. They're talking about at this point what they call the Omega Protocol. Basically, it's a quote-unquote protocol that they use and go to another safe house in case a cover is blown. But Clark is saying at this point, no, this is someplace we're going to that overrides the Omega Protocol. He basically reveals to pre-Flashpoint Lois Lane that he created somewhere in Colorado his own Fortress of Solitude that he's basically been keeping secret from her. So basically he's I guess telling his wife about a secret man cave. Go figure. But she's not too happy about it, but you know, he explains kind of what's going on with that, and and everything, and Jonathan's going through and exploring that. So it's kind of a interesting moment for the story. It's something that you would think would have been revealed in Superman, Lois, and Clark. Not 100% sure if they're telling that part of the story here because of the fact they don't have enough time to tell it in that book because of Rebirth, or if Rebirth ruined any plans with that, or if that book was created because of Rebirth, getting ready for Rebirth. I have no idea. I'm not going to speculate at this time about things they would have, should have, could have done, but then they decided, oh, let's go ahead and do Rebirth. So I kind of think that book was created and the storyline was created at the same time, sort of to knowing full well after Convergence that they were going to be doing Rebirth. I would hope that they were planning everything that far in advance, but who knows. So I think the reason why Lois is going to probably end up going back to the fight scene is because we know she is going to be Superwoman in the new series. We know it's going to be a Lois Lane. Most likely is not going to be the pre-Flashpoint Lois Lane. It's probably going to be the New 52 version of Lois Lane. I'll get to that in a minute toward the end of the video, so we get through scenes. But my theory right now is that it's going to be, and most everybody probably realizes this as well, but most likely New 52 Lois is going to be Superwoman. We'll get into that here in a second. Regardless, she calls in a helicopter, says she's going to pay them triple to get her somewhere. So we get back to the fight with the fake Superman. Superman's shooting lasers out of his eyes that are green because he's got, like, you know, the green veins and everything. So the kryptonite poisoning is really getting him at this point that he suffered from the Savage Dawn storyline and the effects of the Dark Side War and whatever's going on in Justice League of America. He is just basically draining all of his power at this point during this fight. They do get the fake Superman down enough to where he starts to revert back to who he really is, and it's actually the first time I can think of, except for maybe in the first part of it, but it's the first time I can think of that we actually see this guy's name is Denny Swan. He's an inmate out of prison and whatnot, so they for a second get a moment of clarity of, okay, can we get him reverted back? But then he just snaps back into it and he starts engaging Superman and Wonder Woman again. He basically shoots off his solar flare ability, or Superman's solar flare ability, and he basically grabs up Clark and starts flying off with him. The scene then shifts over, I believe, to Supergirl getting experimented on in the middle of another experiment once again, and she gets word that there's metahumans fighting in California and is told that one of them is Superman. So she basically darts out of the laboratory to join in on the fight. It's here at this point that I feel this is what's going to be the clue in as to what's going on. So between the Superwoman part and I think in the solicitations it talks about Kara's powers affecting her in certain ways and everything like that in the New 52 whenever Supergirl starts again. Again, I don't think it's starting until August. I'm not sure. I don't remember from the August solicitations whether or not it's Supergirl's relaunching then or she's relaunching in July. I'm not sure. But most likely I'm thinking that something is going to happen in the next part of this issue, next part of the series, with this fight that either the remaining power from Clark or the power from Denny Swan, the Impostor Superman, is going to get distributed out. I believe on the cover it even shows him super flaring and different people around it. And somehow, being in the middle of the blast zone, Lois, New 52 Lois, is going to absorb some of Superman's powers, as well as Kara is going to be re-energized this way with Superman's powers as well. So this is basically the take I'm going with. That both of those characters are going to either gain or recharge the powers because of what's going on with this Impostor Superman. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm also interested in why exactly Clark's not going to be re-energized from this, if this is how they're going to go with it. It's just very curious all around how it's going. I'm actually very intrigued on how this series is going to end. This issue actually ends with a one-page blow-up of Denny Swan taking Clark, flying off with him, basically threatening that, you're the imposter. It's basically time to get rid of you at this point. So, very interested to see how they're going to finish this series off. So, not sure exactly when this video is going to get posted up, but on Wednesday, May 25th, we're going to have 3 major books coming out that kind of tie in with this. One is the main book, as far as this series goes, is Superman number 52. It is the last part of the storyline and will most likely show the final fate of the New 52 Superman. We've also got Justice League number 50 coming out, which is the final part of Dark Side War, which both of these books kind of tie in, are supposed to be like the main books that set up the DC Rebirth, which also the one-shot DC Rebirth is going to be coming out the same day, May 25th. So those are the 3 major books coming out next week, along, including Superman number 52. So just want to make sure everybody was aware of those big things coming out. So a lot of stuff going on, especially changes for Superman. Not sure as far as Superman goes with Justice League what else is going to occur other than finally showing us more of like what affected him to get him to this point during this series, unless there's something with this going on that starts up Rebirth, and then Rebirth itself, I don't know if that's when they're going to wait to reveal that the pre-Flashpoint Superman is going to be taking over, or if they're going to do it here. I'm just very excited to see what's going on. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely after the 25th. I don't know, not sure if I'm going to post anything on the 25th, because I really would like, basically like Jeff Johns says, I really, as far as Superman and possibly Justice League, yes, I'll be doing reviews of those fairly quickly. DC Rebirth, I might give it a little bit of time. I'm not 100% sure, because I do want people to be able to get there on Wednesday and a day or so afterward to be able to get to the issue and read through the issues. So when you see the video come up, definitely we'll label it spoilers, but just want to make everybody aware of those books, that not only was the final part of the story going on, and it was going to be coming out on May 25th, but 2 other major books that will be tying in or gelling together with this are going to be coming out as well. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this storyline, how it's shaping up, your theories on, I want to actually hear your theories on Superwoman and Supergirl. If you're thinking, because I haven't read anything about it, and I might just be in the dark about it, if you think that this is how they're going to be getting their powers, let me know. If you know of some place that they've actually talked about this is actually how it's going to happen, throw a link to that in the comments too. Let me know where that's being talked about. I'm very interested to hear what the writers and creators and everything have to say about the new Superman status quo as far as those books go. And just tell me what you guys think of the issue as it is. If you enjoyed it, if you've been enjoying the series, are you excited for next week with all the major releases we got going on? Let me know in the comments. And make sure also to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys back here for part 8 of the Final Days of Superman and Superman number 52. Later.